Well, that was kind of scary. Creating my own YouTube channel. Like, for those who know me, they will probably think that it's about time. But nah, man, that was kind of scary. That was a huge, huge leap for me. Part of it has to do with the fact that my generation, we didn't grow up with technology and social media like that, where it was so embedded within our society that everybody had access to it, and getting influence from a global audience or a global community was just the norm. No, we only knew about things that was going on right in front of us. So this is new. This is new. So you see the title of the video. It says, "Why now?" And the answer is basically, why not? But that's just the surface. Let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Why now? Why release my music? Why step into the limelight and let everybody know who I am and what I'm about? You see, I want to say started on X, Twitter, but it started before that. I think a year and a half ago, I came across a video that echoed the words and the phrases that I needed to hear right then and there. I already knew the core message of what was being said, but there's just something about when familiar knowledge hits you at the time it's supposed to hit you. It causes a chain reaction whether you need to get up, move, take action. And that's what that video did. And basically, the crux of the message was this: why wait until after you've given your time and energy to, let's say, your job and your family, for you to then say, you know what, let me go look for time to invest in me? Why not do that the first thing in the morning? Or why not make that the first thing you do in the morning? And that just kind of like changed my worldview, where it's just like, you know what, maybe I need to focus more on my health, my relationships with my family, carving out more time for them, work on my mental health, work on certain pursuits that can elevate my business acumen, and follow my passions and interests, all within 2 hours in the morning. Do that before I do anything else. Serve me, and then go out and serve the world. And it's almost it's similar to that phrase we're saying, where you fill up your cup so that you're in a position to fill up others. I guess it's more akin to when you're on a plane and it's going down. They tell you, hey man, put on your mask first before helping somebody else. Charity begins at home. Make sure you can help yourself, put yourself in a position where you know you're good and you can show up for the ones you love in the capacity that they deserve. So I decided to, you know what, bet on me to a degree. And you know what? I started taking the steps to, like, you know what? Let me start putting myself out there. So on X, that's where like my personal development content is posted. And the big jump for me was actually putting my face and my name out there. That was crazy. That's crazy. I was one of those, and I've always been, for the most part, a lot of the social media platforms I have and sign up to, it's just random user handle and a blank pick background type of situation, like unknown. I don't really dabble with social media like that, but X did that for my personal development content. And then once I did that, it was like a weight off my shoulders. Then I was like, okay, let me put myself out there a little bit more. And that's when I came up with the newsletters to then send out to anybody who would like to subscribe. And I signed up with Kit. So like say Beehive and MailChimp for sending out newsletters, but I mess with Kit and I'm sending out my newsletters. And that was a huge step because right now we're on issue 68, over a year of posting consistently every week. Saturday at 1:40 p.m. is when I release a newsletter or a new newsletter. And then on X, I post multiple times a day, thoughts, passions, insights, topics that I find interesting. And I'm now showing that side of me on X in regards to my music and letting people know that, hey, along with my insights and personal development, there's another layer to Ray. He's into his music. So again, the question is, why now? Now that I've built up the courage over the years with a degree of stackable proof that's undeniable that you can do this, you can be consistent, why now decide to share your music on a social online platform like YouTube? Well, Les Brown has this quote, part of his motivational speech, and I'll butcher it, but the caveat is that this is me paraphrasing what is being said. But it's always moved me where when he paints the scene, it's so jarring. He says, imagine you being on your deathbed and all your dreams, hopes, and aspirations are standing there beside you. And they're looking at you with disappointment. And they're telling you, while you're on your deathbed, we came to you and you did nothing with us. That scene haunts me. Like my regrets, if I were to die right now, I'll be grateful for the time I've had with my loved ones, but there's so much more I want to do. There's so much more I want to give to the world. So to not take advantage of what I have and what I'm capable of doing and sharing with the world, it seems like a crime. It's something I can't sit idly by and just let fizzle away. So my music is something I have to put out there and more so in the open. Because when you reach my age, there's a term for it, midlife crisis. And within that age bracket, like right now I'm 42. So it's like once you hit 40, little do you know that you're literally halfway there. Think about that. Up until this moment, the next how many amount of time I have left, like I'm going through the second half of my life. Everything up until now has been the first half. The life expectancy, interesting fact, in Canada, the life expectancy for males is 79.5 years. There's a couple people within my social circle right now that are over that halfway mark. Like, we potentially have only 39 more summers to go. Like, if that doesn't instill a sense of urgency in you to be like, you know what? Let me make my mark on this world and let me show people that, hey, I was here, I existed. This is proof of my greatness or my kindness. So there's a scene in this movie with Richard Gere. I don't know the movie, it's some romantic comedy movie stuff. But okay, so a little bit of a tangent. Captain Corelli's mandolin has my favorite quote on what love really is. It's beautiful. If you get a chance, look it up. Captain Corelli's Mandolin, starring Nicolas Cage and I believe Penelope Cruz. Beautiful quote on love. Again, some romantic something that it's beautiful. So back to this Richard Gere situation. I heard that in this movie, he's explaining to a character in the movie that The importance of marriage is that in the grand scheme of the universe, we are so insignificant that finding a partner and a spouse in a way helps to validate your existence on this earth. Like when you zoom out from Earth, the solar system, the Milky Way galaxy, like we are so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But just to have that partner there, just like, no, no, you, you matter to me. You matter to me. So the same way in which a partner can offer you value and significance in the grand scheme of things, I find it's the same way that online platforms can house your digital identity for eons or for a very, 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 very long time, where people will not forget you. Your name will be remembered. I've heard somebody say something along the lines of, you only truly die when the memory of you is lost in the last person that holds it. And that's a beautiful thing. So at 40, with a couple more summers to go, God willing, and hopefully, and again, this is not even taking in any health issues and whatnot that you could potentially have. So yeah, if there's something you want to do, just do it. Just just get it done, because you don't want to live with regrets. I know I don't want to live with regrets. And me doing this YouTube thing is a way of ensuring that I put myself out there and I leave a piece of me with you guys. And hopefully you guys can appreciate it. So it's a deep reason as to why now I'm doing my music. But another superficial reason is because I love hip hop. And just seeing the state of hip hop right now, it makes me sad, because while what I want or love about hip hop, there's not much off out there in the mainstream. You have to go dig and find it. It's not to say that it's not there. It is. But it's not what's out there for the masses to consume. So I want to make the music I want to see more of in the city. So a lot of people will complain about the state of hip hop, let's say in Toronto. And it's just like, and I think something happened to hip hop like in mid 2010s, like 2014, 2015, where there was a fork in the road and it went one way. And when I look at how that is reflected in the hip hop scene in Toronto, I think there's a gap, there's a yearning, and there's an opening for music that focuses and highlights content, concepts, and or creativity. And I'm hoping to bring that more into hip hop, especially within the Toronto scene. That's not to say that there's no artist or I'm the only artist in Toronto that caters to that, but I think our voices are being minimized directly or indirectly just by the nature of the beast. Um, Sometimes the customer isn't right. And especially in the realm of being an artist, it's not to care about what the customer wants. And that will sound counterintuitive, but as an artist, I want to put out there the best representation of me. And if I'm too concerned about, like, say, the metrics that determine success as opposed to what is true to me, then maybe I'm not putting the best of me out there. And you could end up creating a situation where the type of music that's being incentivized right now by those who are in power and control does more harm than good to the community it's supposed to serve. So we can look at the state of hip hop, just like say outside of Toronto, and be like, yeah, there's a lot of music that's celebrating certain behaviors, let's say low vibrational behaviors, within, like, say, the urban community. And you wonder, like, if this type of music was prevalent in other genres of music, will it be so celebrated? And the answer might be no. But instead of complaining about it, I'm like, you know what? Let me do my part. So I'm going to be releasing my music and showing people of Toronto that there is a different sound to Toronto music. There's a different sound to Toronto rappers. There's a different content that Toronto rappers can bring to the table. There's different creativity that Toronto rappers can bring to the table. And pardon my ignorance, but if there's other dope Toronto artists out there that I don't know about, by all means, tag them in the comment section and let me know, because I would love to consume dope hip hop, underground hip hop people don't know about. And you know what? If I'm lucky enough, maybe we can collaborate and create some beautiful works of art. So yeah, I think there's room and there's a yearning for the type of hip hop that I love. And then I think about the fact that how many 40-plus-year-old men, women end up listening to music that's being created by teenagers. Like the theme music to your life as an adult male is being curated from the experiences of teenagers. It makes me wonder what kind of wisdom can somebody glean from that category. Now, granted, I also understand that there's a need for fast food. Okay? You need to eat healthy, but there is a need for fast food. I'm all about balance. So I'm like, you can have your ratchet type music, and that's cool. At the same token, I'd also like to add balance to, like, say, maybe something that's more conscious, uplifting, creative, something that have concepts. And all bars matter, man. All bars matter. And we need to up our level with the craftsmanship in hip hop. And again, when you potentially cater to the machine, cater to audiences, cater to what is easily available, readily available, it makes sense why we see a reflection of the type of music that's being heavily pushed and heavily incentivized within the culture. And other voices are being subdued because apparently it's not what urban communities want. But hopefully I can change that up. Interestingly enough, with the why now, technology has a part to play with it, because Apple Music, Spotify, and all other DSPs might be running their course. They might be going the way of Napster. I think we got a glimpse of the power of artists pursuing musical independence, what that looked like. Shout out to Tory Lanez. He was the biggest artist I seen that actually released an NFT and bypassed the labels and said, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. And that was that was huge, because he was able to garner a level of success that a lot would dream of having. And that's dope. All granted, other artists do it. They have their Bandcamp accounts and they upload their music there and they sell it direct to consumers. And they garner success that way. And that's perfectly fine. But I think the technology is creating this moment where it's prime opportunity to actually get in, release your music, and just, I guess, take more control over your future. Because when you look at it, a lot of these artists, like the amount of money I hear these people get paid for the hundreds, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of streams that they have to get, it doesn't seem like it's something profitable for those who are, I guess, not as known as the big 100 artists out there. So it makes you think to yourself that if the streaming numbers are so, I guess the money that's being paid, if it's so little, like why pursue that avenue? And I think the more and more artists that pursue independence, the more and more the power over the industry that major DSPs are going to have. So Tory Lanez has definitely highlighted that, the success. And I wondered where that business model and approach would have gone. Granted, he championed and heralded that. Where would it have gone if he didn't end up where he is right now? Why isn't it more artists going that way or just being independent? The sway and influence that people have in this era when it comes to social media is huge. People have millions of followers. Granted, a percentage of them are bots, but let's say 40% of that is actual followers, your audience, your fans, your supporters. How much money would you make if you just sold singles for like 99 cents? It's like, hey, my new song's coming out. Check me out on this on my own website. Download and support the cause. Like that's bank. You can make some good money. You can fund your lifestyle that way, but no, DSPs. So you can't streaming numbers can be streaming numbers can be farmed, but the real support can't be. So I'm getting into this YouTube thing again. Why now? To be like, you know what? Let me get a proper, accurate representation of who my followers and supporters are. Let me see who really rock with your boy. You know what I mean? Who are my day ones? Who's gonna support me when I put music out there? And I definitely like to, I guess, delve more into this fan support. Um, well, it's actually me supporting my fans more so where what I can think about right now is giving shout outs on some of the tracks I do, like some of the freestyles and whatnot. And I'd like to get that engagement going route. I'm gonna do some thinking about what are some of the ways I can show my fans and supporters my appreciation for them clicking a video, listening to a song, sharing it, subscribing, like commenting, like all that stuff. It means the world to me, especially right now in the early stages and the beginnings of what this could potentially be. Yeah, man, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I'm smiling because I forgot their handle, but it's under the WYFL freestyle I did. Somebody commented, Stone Cold looking like Medusa. Then I'm Medusa. And for all intents and purposes, my assumption is that they like that bar or they like that line. And I'm gonna do the X-ray on the YFL WYFL freestyle, but like just to see that level of like, yo, that was a dope bar. I like that. Let me take the energy out to go actually go type a comment. Like, how many of us don't even type comments on YouTube videos? Like, I really do that. So I'd have to be moved to actually, you know what I mean? So that means a lot. So I like to engage with those people and let them know I appreciate them. Thank you. And off rip, if I can give you guys shout outs, that's something I'd like to do. Um, so watch this. The why now. Everything it comes back to the why now because the state of hip hop in Toronto is something I'm not too happy with. But again, don't complain about it. Do something about it. I believe it was Seth Rogen who had this quote when he's speaking about the type of films he was making, and he was getting heavy critique about it. And he was just like, yo, if you guys think it's so easy to do what I do, why don't you guys get out there and go do it? And the truth of the matter is that it's so easy to critique on your couch, behind your computer screen on a keyboard, just volleying your thoughts and opinions and critiques out there and never getting into the field. I was having a conversation with some of my peoples in my inner circle. And now I will say this. First, what I will say is this. So these are my shortcomings, all right? Mans can't freestyle. I used to. I was developing that brain muscle, but I thought to myself, freestyling ability may not translate well into generating revenue back then. Talking about in high school. So like 20 years ago, when making songs, going on the radio, that was the avenue to generating some kind of financial gain from pursuing hip hop music. So I was just like, yeah, freestyling or making songs, working on a craft, I'm making songs. Like, I'd rather go on the pathway of writing songs. So when it comes to freestyling, buddy, you don't want me to start. It's gonna be laughable. So I'm not good at freestyling. Uh, what else am I not good at? I In one of my newsletters, I spoke about my performances may not be the best, and it's because I'm filled with so much anxiety and nervousness going on stage. Oh my gosh, yo, it's crazy, eh? When people talk about going on stage and the nerves that you get, it's too much. It's like the moment before you get on, you feel like you're drowning. As soon as they say go and you start, you forget everything and you're just present in the moment. And then you get the performance is done and you're like, yo, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did it. But it's magical on stage, man. It is magical to be performing something that's like your baby. You know what I mean? So because I don't do it enough, I don't think I may be the best or as good as I want to be when it comes to performance. So that's how I put my performance there. Promoting the other little nitty gritty technical aspects of making a successful artist nowadays, because I get back then it was a bit easier. There was a lot more weight on the actual skill. So watch this. How many artists in Toronto right now that are rappers do you see yourself in the crowd watching them in a cipher? How many rappers in Toronto do you see yourself or you think you can see them holding their own in a cipher? These are the known rappers. I don't know. There'll be some, don't get me wrong, there'll be some, but a lot of what I see that's promoted, I don't think is a type of music that fits that environment. And that's not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. But when we come to like what I know that I'm good at, I mean, I'm good at performance, promoting, the business aspects, even the studio mixing, editing stuff, that techno stuff, over my head. But when it comes to the bars, this is what I was saying with some of people in my close circle. I don't know a lot of Toronto rappers who's in the same caliber as me. It's not to say that nobody's in my caliber or on my level. No. There's people, I imagine there better be, who are as good as me, if not better. But it's the quantity of them. I don't think there's a lot of rappers that fit that. And that's a sad thing to me. I wish there were more. I wish there was more competition. I want the competition because steel sharpens steel. And I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. So this is the reason why I jump on industry beats. I jump on industry beats to be like, hey, this is what you guys did on your song. Kudos to you. You came up with a song. But if I were to jump on that song, this is what it could have sounded like. And then I do it to give people the opportunity to judge my skill. Like if you're just hearing the track, it's just like, okay, let's hear what he's saying. Is he saying anything of substance? Are there any bars in there? Is he talking about the same generic stuff that everybody else talks about? Because they are rappers in the urban community. In the urban community, like what's going on? Yeah, are they saying anything different? And if the answer is a no, I jump on those beats to show them that hey, there's something else that can be had. Um, so with that, I came up with a WYFL freestyle. I encourage and implore anyone who's a fan of hip hop to compare my verse to anybody who's top. I'm talking DNA, Corey Guns, Remy Ma, Miss Hustle, Fabulous, anybody who's local, unknown artists. Compare it and see how I stack up against them. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be the best, but best believe I'm not the worst. There's no point in making a YouTube video if I was aiming for the worst. But I imagine that I would be top. I would be up there in like a top 10, top 15, something. And it's a great opportunity to speak about humility because if you do not have evidence of stackable proof, it's then best to move with an air of humility. And to answer the why now, I need to show you guys that proof. I need to build up that evidence. So each YouTube drop, each blog, each freestyle, each x-ray is an opportunity to showcase that, hey, the reason why he can speak with a degree of confidence about his skills when it comes to bars is because of these songs that's been put out there. So with that said, National Treasure. That's the next beat I'm going to jump on. But 1 second. So funny enough, when I was getting ready to talk about the National Treasure beat is the next beat I'm going to jump on, I could see, well, probably like 10, 15 minutes before, one of the lights I have, they lost power. And I'm there watching, hoping I can finish getting through my thoughts before the second one runs out of power. And it's just an inexperience and a newness and a rawness of it all, where it's just like, I bought this tripod I saw on Amazon. I thought this thing was like probably 4 or 5 feet. In my excitement to just get something done so I could record this video on my off day when everybody else is at work and school, I was like, you know what? Just hit the button, order it, get it, and I'll worry about that later. Funny enough, I heard something in my motivational speech video I was listening to this morning, and one of the key takeaways I got was start now and learn later. Where it's like, just jump in, jump out the nest, spread your wings, and fly, and learn how to fly better while you're in the air. And it's I just had to do it. I just had to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna set it up, shoot, hit record, and go. And then I'll worry about everything else along the way. Because if I don't, or if I do the reverse, I'll be behind my computer on my phone looking up videos, learning how to set up a tripod, all the first 10 things or the top 5 things beginners forget to do when they say, oh, man, I get lost in that perfection paralysis. So I'm glad that I just started, shot it. Now I learned where it's just like, yo, my guy. And I should have known. I just didn't expect the battery to not be that long lasting. But I should have known to like charge up these lamps, these lights, as much. They're not plug-in ones. Charge them up at full, and then record, because you never know how long this blog is going to be. So that was a behind the scene blooper when I was like, okay, 1 second. Who knows if I'll put it in? I wanted to get into the habit of being able to do, like, I'm trying to work my way up to like live streaming, right? Where I can just have a series of topics I like to talk about and just knock them out the park. And I don't have to worry about editing or splicing stuff together. I like right now in this moment, I like the Oz. I like the rawness of it where it's just like, hey, this guy's just starting out. And yeah, that's pretty cool. But so back to National Treasure, and the judging and comparing me to other artists. And my bar for comparison is not local; it's global. All right, my competition is not the local pond; it's the ocean. I want to put myself up against the top, the best who did it or who's doing it. So when it comes to WYFL, that's what I was saying. Like the people I thought who came the best on it, my verse, I'm trying to put it against that. So yeah, man, I don't have a problem with you guys comparing and seeing like, okay, it's just and seeing where I stand because competition is an aspect of hip hop. That verbal sparring, you don't you don't really get that in other genres of music where people are literally tearing each other down verbally. You don't get that in hip hop, and the manner in which they do that can create some beautiful, beautiful literary pieces. Yeah, I freaking love it. So shout out to Derek. He's my brother, but he's not my brother, but he's my brother. He's big bro. Um, so I came from the stew and I connected with him. I'm like, yo, my guy. I went to the studio, recorded a song. You always, obviously, always get as soon as they're done, but I want to see your reaction to this in person. So let me know when you're at the crib. I'll pull up. We'll listen to it in the car, and it was a moment of joy because I was the observer and a participant at the same time. It's like I could see both of us geeking over bars inside the car, but I was a participant because it's my bars. And there's so much to say, but Derek is a poet and he goes by the name Brushstrokes. And he's good. And when I say good, I don't mean like he's okay, good, like good, better, best. No, when I say good, I mean like he's best, but yo, he's good best. Like I've been an audience to a lot of his works, and to see how they just constantly get better is scary, good, dope because he's competition for me as well. When he pushes the needle and he raises the bar on his craft, I'm like, yo, I need to elevate as well because he comes to me and he hits me with the dope ish. And he's just like, all right, ball's in your court, Ray. What are you going to do? And then it's up to me to come back and be like, all right, you think you're nice with the poetry? Yeah, watch this. But yeah, man, he's dope. He's dope. And I like the relationship we have in the sense that we both appreciate each other's craft and what we do with it. So yeah, when I listen to his poetry, like my eyes closed and I'm just in the world that he's painting. And I'm just instantly transported there. Like he's dope. And I think I see a lot of the things I do in my music in what he does. So when it came to playing National Treasure for him, yeah, like as much as I said that the next beat I'm gonna jump on is National Treasure, it's already recorded. It's done. I'm just waiting to release it. So I'll say no. Follow me at underscore C Books Music on Instagram, and you probably not probably you will see a rollout of like the behind the scenes videos and stuff like that. Yeah. So playing it for him, we had a dope moment in the car where I gave him control of the volume knob, track forward and backward. Giving control is like, yo, my guy, if you hear something you like and want to wheel it up, just yo, do the thing, my youth. And yeah, we're in the car for like 30, 45 minutes just analyzing the bars. So I'm like super excited because this guy's like, hold on. If I know you, you're saying you're saying something else here. There's more that you're saying here. What's the gem I'm missing? And to go through that CD explanation, it was dope. It was a lot of fun. It reminded me why I fell in love with hip hop, because as rough around the edges as it could be, some of these guys are saying some ill stuff, man. Some ill stuff, creative, witty, slick, and they say stuff that just evokes an emotion. And oof, that's why, as much as all bars matters, one of my slogans. Another one is hoods and not hoods, hoodies and Tim's forever, man. Like that gritty New York rap is what I love. That vibe, the whole cadence. I think it's dope, man. So shout out to you, Derek. It was a dope session. I wish we recorded that. It felt like Christmas, opening presents, man. It was really fun. It was really fun. So yeah, National Treasure I'm gonna drop soon, and it's fresh in the minds of people because I guess the album just dropped, and I was just like, okay, if I were to jump on that beat, this is what I would sound like. Now, feel free to like compare me to be like, yo, can this guy hang with the best that's out there doing it? And I'm telling you, if it's gonna be graded on the bars, what's being said, I'm 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 pretty confident that I will be able to make, let's say, the city proud, those who like, support, and rate me proud, and those who love hip hop proud. Because again, just for the bars, it's nice. Well, well, it's nothing crazy, right? But the first line is just, they told me to slide, and I slid, cause I'm gonna need traction, but I got boots on the ground, and that's y'all. And what I'm trying to play at is the frozenness of what surrounds that song, the coldness of what surrounds that song. So it's like I'm trying to paint the picture of, they told me to slide and I slid. They told me to jump on a beat, so I did. But again, using the cold front as the theme to usher in my verse. They told me to slide and I slid because I'm gonna need traction. Ice is slippery. You need traction to stay grounded. And the way you get traction is like, this beat is hot, this song is hot, jump on the beat, jump on the song, do your own rendition, and people will be clicking on it because they're looking for the song. So if you do a good job, you can probably build up a following, the audience, and get more traction. So told me to slide in a slid because I'm gonna need traction. And then I flip it by saying, but I got boots on the ground, and that's y'all. Talking about traction, I already have boots on the ground. So I have the traction. I don't need that traction, but I have my supporters there. Say they got me, I'm grounded. And once you guys are there for me, I'll be there for you, man. Well, regardless, I got to be there for me because I got to get all this music out. So told me to slide on a sled because I'm going to need traction, but I got boots on the ground, and that's y'all. I ain't going to say no more. I'm going to come up with an x-ray for that. But to see Derek go through each line and trying to figure out, yo, what's being said? I hear the surface level of what you're saying. They told you to jump on a beat, but you know what I mean? But is there something else at play here? And to point out those is dope. And that's what, when we used to listen to hip hop, that's what we looked for. Those gems, the punchlines. Like, yo, what's the double entendres, triples, the metaphors, the similes, the puns, the like, the alliteration? Like, what are these guys saying? What am I missing? And what's the emotion that these guys are evoking? Because it doesn't have to just be like bars, but like, do you feel something? And maybe that's another one of my shortcomings, where it's like I want to make music that evokes more emotion in people, where is do that coupled with the bars, or present within my discography more balance, where it's just like, yeah, you have the bars, you're nice with it, but what emotion can you evoke in your audience? And I want to elaborate on that more and bring more of that to the forefront. So I'm in the kitchen cooking. So I'm gonna wrap this up by saying that National Treasure is the next video that's gonna be out there for y'all. I see my lights dimming. I see them dimming. They're going to sleep. So I'm gonna wrap it up. National Treasure is coming out. If you want to follow me Instagram at _ C Books Music. CBOOKS Music. And then where you find me on Instagram, on Twitter, or X. And for my newsletter on Kit, you can search for me under the Thoughtful Alchemist. Again, it's Thoughtful Alchemist. But here's a catch, because obviously it has to be a catch with it, because that wouldn't be a raid. That got to be something special or cool. The words thoughtful and alchemist are not spelled with any I's, no O's, and no U's. And if you ask yourself why, is because I do not want to have an IOU when I leave this earth. I don't want to leave with any regrets. So that's why my handle is spelled with no I, no O, and no U's. And that's it, man. So subscribe, like, share. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you're a hero. All right? I support you. What else? Okay, let's try this, because I'm going to get into the video editing. So if you made it to the end of this video, like, share, subscribe, if I've earned that. And I'm not too sure if it's going to be on this side of the screen or on that side of the screen, but you'll find a video or a freestyle that you can listen to. Previous blog, previous freestyle, and hear what I'm about, listen to what I'm about. And how am I going to sign off with these YouTube videos? I don't know yet, but we're going to work on it. But yeah, we're here.